The next morning, I am awakened by a gentle knock at the door.
Janet, are you awake?
I quickly run my fingers through my hair and try to arrange myself. Come in.
Since it's not possible to go out at the moment, I've made the sitting room available this morning for quiet prayer if you wish.
Oh, no, I'm not religious. And I've had more than enough of faking my way through practices I don't believe in with my high school's daily chapel services. I grew up caught between the rituals of my school and the remnants of my grandparents' religion, and never feeling that I quite understood either of them. I don't have any shrines or statues in my dorm room, and I certainly don't go to church. Religion isn't part of my life now. Of course, Vanessa's Christian and she never goes to church either. I'm not sure very many people do if they're not obligated by schools or families.
Well then, we'll see you for breakfast when you're ready.
He leaves me to finish my morning preparations. When I come downstairs, Nathaniel and Linz are waiting for me.
What did you and Rafael work out about the food arrangements?
Is Rafael not here? There should be enough to go around as long as we don't waste anything. Your kitchen was pretty well stocked. There are some fresh strawberries that need to be eaten today. All the meat is frozen, so it's vegetables, bread, and milk that will go off fastest. After that, just make sure that when you cook things, you eat the leftovers quickly. Since it appears to be serve yourself this morning, I head into the kitchen to get some fruit and plain cereal. Nathaniel follows and does the same, although he picks a cereal with nuts in it. Lynn shows no interest in the food, heading straight for the French press to make a cup of coffee. We may run out of milk before the 4 days. 3 now, I suppose, are up. But there's plenty of oatmeal and spices, and I can make porridge with water. I return to the dining room to eat my breakfast. Nathaniel comes in from the kitchen, bringing a glass of water along with his cereal.
Mustn't forget these.
Alright, the weird picture of him holding a vase of roses. He picks out one of the pots of roses and carefully adds a small amount of water. They're very pretty.
And helpless. But as long as we are here to care for them, they will bloom for us.
He finishes watering the roses and settles in with his cereal. A minute or two later, Albin turns up.
I thought you were... Nah, it's not the same. Anyway, it's not my fault I'm stuck in here. Coffee's in the pot. Thanks.
He heads off to the kitchen. Addicts.
No coffee for you, then?
Only when I need to stay up late typing or something. By the way, is there somewhere I can get the internet from here? I know the phones are down, but it might still work.
The what?
The internet. To send an email?
I don't understand.
I guess he's not much for computers. I shrug and turn to Linz. Does your connection work? Can I borrow it?
What sort of connection?
To connect your computer to the network.
Which network?
The internet!
Which internet?
Stop playing dumb. If you don't want me using your computer, just say so.
Do you know what she's talking about?
I'm not sure. How can they possibly not know what the internet is? Something's not right here. The internet. The World Wide Web. The information superhighway and Al Gore's stupid campaign speeches.
Who?
For a moment, I'm lost for words. This isn't possible. Albin re-enters, carrying a mug and some toast.
Morning.
Who's the president?
What? The president of what?
The president of the United States.
The United Arab States? I'm not certain. I've never been there.
Who rules this country?
Queen Charlotte, nominally. Ferraro's prime minister, though.
I just stare.
What's with her?
This is the United States of America. We have a president, not a queen. No country has a Queen Charlotte, and everyone knows what the internet is.
She's as crazy as Bradley.
I am not crazy. I fetch my purse and dig out what money I had with me. Just a few bills and coins, but they're enough to show the logos and famous figures of the USA.
Where did these come from? Plenty of board games print funny money.
Not coins. Linz picks up a nickel and eyes it curiously.
And these dates are accurate.
Why wouldn't they be?
They're in the future.
Eh?
She's supposed to be a time traveler now? Not exactly. Some of these years are real.
What year is it for you?
1984.
Over 20 years in the past.
Where do you come from?
I come from here. I went to high school at St. Teresa's and then to Brooke College, and then I went on a drive with Bradley, and...
There's no school named Brooke College near here.
I've lived here in Memphis my whole life.
Memphis was a city in ancient Egypt. This is Chickasaw Oaks.
Bradley was right. This house doesn't exist. You're all... hallucinations or spirits or something.
She's lost it. I can assure you that I am quite real.
He touched me earlier when he was setting up the magnets for the tests. He's not a ghost. But what is he?
Do you have any other evidence of your story?
Do you have any evidence of yours?
I believe I asked you first.
I shake out my purse onto the table, revealing a book, published in the USA, 1991, a pen, a hairbrush, a key ring, my wallet, with up-to-date bank cards, student ID, and state non-driver's ID, a packet of tissues, a squish pack of vending machine crackers, and, of course, my cell phone. I hand over the evidence, along with explanations. After I turn on the cell phone, Linz takes it from my hand and stares in fascination. What's so exciting about no signal?
Full color in such high resolution in something so small.
You really are living in the past.
It's just a toy. I'm sure we could produce a toy like this with dedicated factories, but the cost would be far too much for a prank, even for someone like Nathaniel.
Do you truly come from our future, Janet? There wasn't a Queen Charlotte in the 80s either. There hasn't been a king or queen here for over 200 years.
A parallel universe. Fascinating.
That's impossible.
Not impossible. Just very, very improbable.
Perhaps you judge Bradley's motives too quickly.
I never denied having a colossal ego.
Bradley! We have to let him out and find out what he knows. He's been researching this.
He attacked us.
He was scared and confused. He won't do it again.
So, you're on his side after all?
I'm on my side.
Something very strange is going on. We should share what knowledge we have. Well, I won't be a part of it. Come on, Linz. If they're letting him out, we'd better make sure that the lab is secure. And so your colonies declared independence in the time of King George III? That's right.
No American Revolution. No Continental Congress. Instead, they have a country named Atlanta, after the ocean, and it's part of the British Commonwealth, but the river is still the Mississippi. Was it the same King George that we had?
It would seem so. Perhaps this is where our worlds diverged. That depends. Have you ever heard of Shakespeare?
What's that? Okay, then your world is a lot different from ours. Once he heard that Nathaniel and the others might actually believe his story, Bradley was eager to help. He doesn't even seem to hold a grudge for being locked up overnight. Of course, Nathaniel is not returning Bradley's weapon. I don't know what happened to it. They didn't tell me, which is reasonable. What would you recommend as a good world history text? It would be interesting to see what else...
Don't get distracted, Janet. If this is another world, learning its history won't solve our problems. Which are... How did we get here? What happened to the other people who disappeared? And how did we get home? All very good questions. You. Please, we should not be enemies. Perhaps not. However, I should inform you that the entrance to my laboratory is locked and trapped with a variety of interesting measures. Therefore, if you are here to engage in industrial espionage, you would be advised to reconsider, unless you enjoy excruciating pain. In which case, we might be able to devise something more entertaining to do together. You freak. Is this all part of some scheme of yours after all? You may fool them, but you don't fool me.
Bradley, stop it. We need his help.
He doesn't want to help us. On the contrary, if you have discovered a method of extra-universal travel, I am eager to learn about it.
Where's Albin?
He still believes that these two are either deranged or unfriendly agents, or both.
But you've changed your mind.
That's my prerogative.
Okay, so what do we know? We've jumped from our world into yours, and this has probably happened to people before. Bradley, you said people were disappearing every 5 years, and the first one was 25 years ago, right?
The first one I could find in the papers. Not every missing person gets news coverage, and it's not always easy to know where someone disappeared from. There could be more.
Of course. Why would anything be simple? But did they all come here?
Susan said that she saw a large house with lights in the windows, but that's not much of a description. I thought it was this house, but I can't be sure.
Susan was your sister.
Susan is my sister. She's out there. Somewhere.
Well, what does she look like? In case someone saw her here.
Taller than you. About 5'9". Brown hair down past her shoulders with bright purple streaks. Hazel eyes. She had 3 piercings in one ear, 1 in the other. The night she went out 5 years ago, she was in a little black dress and a red leather jacket, and her old blue backpack. She'd been out to a party. She was coming back. Her car broke down. She went to the house for help. She was only 20. I'm sorry. If someone like that had knocked on our door, I think I would remember. I didn't live in this province 5 years ago. Neither did Rafael. You might ask Albin. A girl like that, as she'd come to this city, could have ended up running with his friends.
What do you mean, a girl like that?
Now, don't rush to judgment. I have very fond memories of that kind of girl.
And there's a spider going down my screen. Hold on a second. Eek! Dead. Thank goodness it was a little baby one. I thought I saw something swinging by. Okay, now you're dead, little thing. And you can just stay in that tissue. Anyway, where were we? Ah, yes, fond memories.
Ugh. You slimy son of a... Quiet!
Bradley, he always talks like that. Don't rise to it.
Linz, please remember that this young man does not know if his sister is alive or well. Please, be gentle with him. My point was only that she sounds like a young woman who prefers entertainment to study. It doesn't matter anyway. Susan was going to the house that she saw. If she was never here, if she was thrown into some other universe, there's always hope. She could have arrived at a time when I was away from home. When Linz's experiment is complete and the force field gone, we can contact...
Linz glares at Nathaniel, but I'm distracted as the weight of the matter suddenly settles on my shoulders. We're in another universe. Different history, different science, different people. When that force field goes away, we'll still be in another universe. We're not trapped for 3 days. We're trapped forever. My head spins. Linz is speaking, but I can't hear him. Oddly enough, it's his presence that gives me focus. The last time I panicked, he knocked me out. I don't want him to do it again. I have to think positively. Wait, someone's talking to me.
Janet? Are you alright?
I'm okay. I'm just thinking about our problems, like you said. Your sister has never been able to get home, right? Even if we find her, what do we do then? If we're trapped here, how do we live? My school doesn't exist in this universe. How do I get my degree?
Perhaps I could help. We'll find a way out. I got here, didn't I? When everyone said it was impossible. And I didn't even know where I was trying to get to. And now you'll have someone intelligent assisting you.
Bradley glares, but this time he is able to resist Linz's taunting.
However, for the next 3 days, our focus is still here. The procedure must be completed. But some of us enjoy multitasking. We can't afford to lose you to another universe. Naturally.
Nathaniel closes his eyes and takes a deep breath.
Bradley, Janet, you are my guests, and I will do what I can for you, so long as you are respectful to the other members of the house. Please stay out of the basement and don't disturb Linz when he needs to work. Please respect the privacy of others.
I understand.
Yeah, whatever. I expect you'll be able to find many interesting books here now that you know where you are. So, if you'll excuse us.
With a polite nod, Nathaniel exits and Linz goes with him. Just our luck that we ended up in a universe of force fields and mad scientists, huh?
Could be worse. Could be dragons. No, really. A rich guy offering us a place to stay while we search, and a crazy scientist helping us get back? That's about the best I could hope for.
So you don't think there's serial killers or ghosts anymore?
I don't know anything for certain, but this explanation makes more sense. The simplest explanation is usually true, right?
The simplest explanation is that this is all one crazy dream.
You don't really think that, do you?
Well, you might have slipped something funny into my food at dinner that night, but probably not. We're standing there smiling at each other and thinking about what a wild, mixed-up world it is, and therefore we don't even hear someone else enter the room. Uh-oh.
Don't think you're getting off that easy. Nathaniel's soft, wants to think everybody's all nicey nice. But I'm not. You're a coward and a liar and a maniac, and I'm not going to forgive what you've done. What about you? You've been hassling us ever since we got here. You punched me in the face. You tried to kill me. If I tried to kill you, you'd be dead.
They look like they're about to come to blows. What should Janet do? I guess I'm not gonna jump between them, because that just gets points with both of them, which I don't need. I don't need anything with Nathaniel either, but I don't have a lot of affection with Nathaniel at this point. So I'll get Nathaniel. I rush out into the main entrance, but nobody's here. Where did they go? Nathaniel! Everybody listen to Nathaniel. He can stop this. In a moment, I hear footsteps. Oh, there's Rafael, too.
Janet, what is it?
Alvin and Bradley! Nathaniel gathers his robes around him, heads into the library.
Bradley's attacking people again?
No. Alvin came in and tried to pick a fight. So, you heard about Bradley and I? Where we come from?
I heard, but I'm not sure I understand it.
Suddenly, Alvin comes boiling out of the library. Sorry, man.
Squealing rat.
He hustles past us and away. I'd better go check on them.
Just want to find my sister. I understand, but I'm afraid that Alvin knows very few people who would point a gun at him if they did not intend to use it.
They look up as they notice my entrance. Are you alright?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't know what else to do. I didn't want anyone to get hurt. Hey.
Words can wound as well as violence. I don't like to see people fight. Alvin and Bradley have promised to stay out of each other's way, so this should be the end to it.
I hope he's right. Those two seem destined to butt heads whenever their paths cross. Bradley started it with all his wild accusations, but Alvin seems to be just as angry and just as irrational. Why is he so determined to hate Bradley? Reasons and feelings. The door is closed, hiding the force field from my view. And now that I've had some time to think about it, I wonder what lies beyond. There's a whole new world out there. Are there trees like our trees? Are the squirrels gray or red or black? Traffic lights? Street signs? Airplanes? Everything could be foreign. There's 100,000 things I want to see. But as long as the barrier lasts, this mansion is my entire universe. Me? And them. I guess we're gonna start seeing which route we're on now. Of all the boys, it's Rafael that I feel most drawn to. From the moment we met, he's been nothing but kind to me. Always helpful, always cheerful. He's been a ray of sunshine through everything that's happened. And he's beautiful, like a work of art. If he wore something better than those rags, he'd be breathtaking. He's always trying to make people happy, and all the people around him take advantage of it, even me. I thought at first that he was a servant and it was his job to take care of us. But that isn't the case, so why does everyone let him act like their slave? When I look at Rafael, I see myself as a little girl, eagerly showing off my latest test scores to my parents to make them proud of me. I didn't think there was anything good about me besides my grades. I got over that. Mostly. But why is he so insecure? Why doesn't he have better clothes? Why is he living with an older man who isn't his father or brother or boyfriend? I can think of reasons. None of them are good. But I don't know. I haven't seen that much of him while I've been here, and when we are together, he doesn't talk about himself. He's such a sweetheart. Just want to pick him up and cuddle him until he glows. Aw, what a sweet little cinnamon bun. But that's not a proper way to feel about a boy, is it? It's not really romantic. He's younger than I am, and prettier than I am. That's never how it works in the books. Can never work. All I know is that when he smiles, I feel warm inside. Interesting. I find Rafael and Nathaniel together in the sitting room.
You don't owe me anything. I'm not the one...
He notices my entrance and trails off.
Perhaps not, but nothing obligates you to help me either. I want to help because I can. The question is, do you want me to? I don't know.
Hi. What's up?
Rafael and I are discussing the value of higher education.
Oh, you want to go to college?
I don't know. I was never very good at school.
Did you completely hate school, or were you just not at the top of your class?
I didn't hate it.
You don't have to be a genius to go to college. And just being smart isn't enough to get admission. Some schools are really selective, but others aren't. There are state schools that will take anyone who graduated high school. At least, I think there are in my world. I turned to appeal to Nathaniel.
I'm not certain. I never went to high school. I had private tutors.
Anyway, college is great. You'll make lots of friends, and it will help you get a better job later. If you're willing to work hard and study, you'll be fine. And if you go to a state school, it won't cost as much.
As much as what?
Well, the big private schools are really expensive. He shakes his head.
All accredited universities charge the same tuition fees. They're capped by the government in order to be affordable to the whole population.
How convenient. Where I come from, people pretty much have to start a trust fund when their kids are born to afford the major schools. Did I say something wrong?
No, it's not your fault. So, does that mean that anyone whose parents failed to plan ahead, or fell on hard times, can't study at university?
There is always the state schools, like I said.
Well, here at least, the tuition fees are not too high to prevent me from helping a friend, or two, in need. If it's alright with you, then I'll do it. It's alright.
Wait, you're going to pay to send Rafael to school?
Why not?
No reason, I guess. A lot of people get touchy about accepting help from people, even if they need it. At least in my world, some people don't like taking charity.
But God expects us to perform charitable works. Refusing to accept them would mean that someone else was stopped from being able to give.
This is the most we've learned about Rafael in the entire game so far. He believes in God. Huh. Don't ask me, I'm not religious.
Why not?
Nathaniel steps in to rescue me. Thank you.
Faith is a personal matter. Of course, I don't mean to be rude. It's just that this world is so wonderful. I just want everyone to appreciate it. Look how it's brought us together. Isn't it amazing?
It's pretty amazing, all right.
Everything is for the best. You'll see.
Nathaniel clasps his hands briefly in front of him.
If Janet and Bradley decide to stay here as well, and you all attend the same school, Robert can drive all three of you to classes together. What? Stay here? Why ever not?
It startles me a little bit as well. I've only known Nathaniel for 2 days, and he wants me to live here? But not just me.
I have to stay with Linz.
He doesn't sound happy about that. Linz does not own you.
He needs me. He forgets to eat. He can't clean up after himself. He never gets a good night's sleep unless I tell him to.
What are you, his wife or his mother? Wait, are you his boyfriend? Lynn said you weren't, but...
No, he's never touched me.
That's slightly hard to believe, considering what a pervert Linz is and how ridiculously pretty Rafael is.
You said yourself how nice it was that we were all brought here together. If Bradley and Janet are trapped here, they will need friends who understand what's happened to them.
I wince, realizing what he's getting at. If I stay here, I can't very well go around telling everyone I meet that I'm from an alternate universe. I'd probably end up in a madhouse. Science seems to be a little different here and a lot weirder. Maybe people would believe me, but in that case I might end up locked up by the government for research.
There is room for all of you here. This house is far too large for me alone. But you're not alone. There's...
Nathaniel shakes his head abruptly, then sighs.
There is a spark of hope, and I will not let that spark go out. As long as I can. But everything ends eventually. I'm taking the chance, but I am not certain of the happy ending. Things happen, and you can't always control them. I have accepted the possibility of failure. You have to have faith. And you too, Janet. You will find a way home. You have to believe.
What is there for me to believe in? I don't know how I got here in the first place. Some interdimensional fluke that only pops up every few years and which no one has ever come back from? How can I possibly believe that we'll find a way?
Haven't you ever heard of positive thinking, Janet? Gosh.
Like how you were with Bradley earlier? There's hope. There's always hope. But I have to accept the possibility that it will never be anything more than that. Raphael's too pure for this world. With the tension in the house calmed for now and dinner uneventfully behind us, we're all hanging around together. It's a little like a slumber party, even though I haven't been to one of those since I turned 13.
The name of the game is I Never. When it's your turn, you must state something that you have never done. Like, I've never ridden an elephant?
The idea is to pick something that you haven't done, but that you think the rest of us have. So probably no elephants.
Usually this is a drinking game, but if some of you don't care for alcohol, that's what the chocolate peanuts are for.
Each of us has a small bowl containing 6 chocolate-covered peanuts.
If you have done what the speaker never has, eat a peanut. And if you're not sure it counts, it counts. Whoever runs out first loses. Which will probably be you. Perhaps. However...
He holds a finger in the air dramatically.
I have never cheated on a lover. I may have had more than one at the same time, but everyone involved was aware of the situation and the rules. That's not cheating.
Everyone was... What has Linz been up to? There's a moment of silence while everyone looks at each other. Finally, Albin shrugs and takes a peanut.
Albin. There was this girl. We went out a couple of times, nothing serious, and she got all crazy. She started telling people what I was going to do, like it was her decision without even asking me. She picked fights and then came running to me to protect her. So I made it very clear that I was not her property. In public. With her best friend.
How should how should Janet respond to this information? I don't know, maybe I'll stay quiet this time. See what that does for me. It's not really my business what he did to some girl in the past.
So I suppose it's my turn. Well, I have never snogged a man.
What is snogged? Albin and Lynn stare at me. Nathaniel covers a smile with his hand.
It's, you know, kissing. With tongues.
Oh. Oh! What a funny word. Well, then I've never done that either. With a grandiose wrist flourish, Lynn takes a peanut from his bowl. No one looks terribly surprised, although Bradley rolls his eyes a bit.
You next. Very well. I have never driven a motor vehicle.
Everyone else except Raphael reaches for a peanut. I don't have a car, but I took driver's ed, so that means me as well.
Why not? Some people find cars interesting in themselves, but I never did. If I need to go somewhere, I can get someone to drive me. Usually. You've been quiet, Bradley. Your turn. I'm not sure what's safe to ask.
Safe?
Well, you're a...
He cuts off and shakes his head.
I've never worn makeup.
Well, that's me then. Linz, Albin, and Rafael reach for peanuts as well, but not Nathaniel. I suppose the rest of them have dressed up for Halloween. So, my turn. What should Janet say she's never done? Okay, Broken a Bone didn't really do anything for Rafael, so I might as well try the other one and see what happens. Oh, that didn't work out at all, did it? Let's try... okay. This way, this way, this way, and... I've never kissed a girl. I've never kissed a girl. On the lips. Quickly, I open my eyes and look around to see their reaction. Albin said he'd had a girlfriend before, and Linz had obviously been there and done that, but... every single one of them reaches out to take a peanut. Bradley? Rafael? You have a girlfriend?
It's not what you think. I was 8.
You were a very young romantic? I hope it's that and not something worse.
It was for play.
Whew.
We were doing Sleeping Beauty, but none of the boys in my class were good at acting.
So they made you play Prince Charming?
No, that's the biggest part. And the best person to play it was one of the girls. They made me play Sleeping Beauty.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. He's adorable when he's embarrassed.
So, that leaves me.
There's a long pause while his eyes flicker back and forth.
I have never...
We wait for it.
Worn pink socks.
Everyone stares at him.
What? I haven't.
I'm not absolutely certain whether I have or not. I would never pick them out for myself, but my parents probably put me in something pink as a baby. I assume I'll be the only one, but as I take my peanut, I notice that someone else is as well. Bradley?
I'm not so good at doing laundry.
That's the end of the first round, then. Linz and Albin are tied for last, with each having only 2 peanuts left. Albin and Linz exchange glances.
I have never spray-painted my initials on the outer wall of a government building.
Albin takes a peanut.
I have never worn glasses.
Linz inclines his head and reaches for a candy. To my surprise, Nathaniel does as well. Do you have contacts?
No. When I was small, I used to borrow my father's reading glasses.
How cute! Linz and Albin are tied, each with 1 peanut remaining.
And so it fails to you. It fails. And so it falls to you to cast the deciding vote. Perhaps. However, I have never drunk absinthe.
Bradley looks confused as Linz and Albin sigh in unison and then turn on him.
No one's done that. Your turn. I have never ridden a horse.
Neither have I. I don't hate horses, but I never found them as exciting as some girls do. Nathaniel takes a peanut, no surprise. So does Rafael. And so does Albin, losing the game. I didn't think you were the horsey type.
It wasn't my idea.
He stands up abruptly, kicking over the empty peanut dish. I wonder now if that was his sister who made him write it, and that's why he gets upset. It's not him losing the game. It's the memory.
This is a stupid game anyway.
What a sore loser. He walks away and no one even comments on it. I guess he does that a lot. I think that's the end of our evening.